Warning. Elements of real-world religion are used in this podcast to serve the purposes of a work of fiction. They are to drive the drama forward and are not intended to be taken as a statement of opinion by the players. Thank you for listening.
I'm going to explore the cave, make sure it's safe. I'll be right back. Levi, go ahead.
I'm going to follow Levi.
Don't follow me, Doc.
Make sure you're not going to get killed in there.
I'll scream if something comes out.
Doc, I have a different plan for us.
Besides, you need a more open area to shoot.
That's not true.
I shoot whatever I want.
I can shoot God! Alright.
I'll prove it. Bang!
Alright, Levi kind of frowns at you following him, but it's like, fine, come in.
What you got?
Maybe a stick of that dynamite seals up that cave real good.
If you introduce dynamite in the first act, it has to be used before the end of the play.
Hey, so Mary, since you made your check, would you make a nature check with what I just did? Or what I'm doing right now?
15.
Levi's holding the stinger like it's not nothing. Like it's just nothing. He doesn't even seem worried about it. Even though it's probably dripping poisonous ichor right now.
I mean,
There's
women
some
do weird
thick
shit.
brackish fluid coming out.
That's a good default answer for most things.
Alright, so I'm gonna go in the cave, see what's in there.
I'm like,
We wait for him to come out.
And I will,
I kid.
since Doc's here, I'm going to try and stuff the tail in with my blow darts ammunition.
You find is that this was a female wyvern defending a nest.
Okay.
There is some tied together bits of reed and cloth and wood and stuff that apparently was accumulated by it. And there are 3 large eggs inside.
Okay.
There's also a lot of bones and rotten meat odor.
Yep. Well, look at that. Our own little pet store. So does Doc care what I'm doing, by the way?
I was the one that suggested you get poisoned for your blow darts in the first session.
Yeah, he did. Okay.
I was like, that's a great trick. Let's get some poison to put on those.
Alright, so you probably witnessed this. Levi will take a look at the... why don't you take a look at those?
I'm going to go inspect the thingy, the nest.
You hear a squeezing sound. I'm going to just coat them.
Okay.
And it sure gets on my hands and my skin, whatever.
Okay. Are you immune to poison?
Yes.
Okay.
You were waiting to answer that question.
Oh, man, I had it. Yeah, I had it chambered.
As far as I know, you need to get
text
stung
you
by that
secrets
shit.
later.
What's that?
I'm going to text you secrets later.
I love secrets. Oh, we love passing notes
So
and
you're
plans.
checking out the nest?
Yeah, I'll check out the nest.
It appears to be the way that a bird would weave together like bits of string and straw and whatever they find. This appears to be an amalgamation of just random shit the wyvern was accumulating from the local area, which includes things like horse bones, wagon pieces. There's like a wagon wheel in there somewhere. It's all sort of embedded together with bits of like a woman's dress has been stuck in there.
I'll take out my
I
gloves
mean,
for it.
I'm going to poke around and see if it accidentally scooped up anything of value that might be in the nest.
Give me an investigation check.
20.
Actually, you find a whole tent that has been picked up and apparently distributed into the nest. It unfolds out into a standard-sized tent.
I have a tent.
Apparently, it was folded up at the time that it apparently retrieved this thing and didn't know that it unfolded, so just dropped it in.
I'm going to go over the mouth of the cave. Hey, Jed,
Doc?
we've got a couple of options here. That beast had some eggs in here. We can either destroy them so that nobody else gets waylaid by these creatures, or we have one hell of an omelet.
Or, as Levi's finished, puts his gauntlets back on, why don't you take 1 or 2 of them and sell them to a bidder?
Because I don't want people trying to domesticate wyverns. Just throwing that out there.
Well, why don't we take one for ourselves?
Because I don't want you domesticating a wyvern.
Why is that?
Because I don't know. It's a big responsibility, Levi, to have a pet.
Oh, well, I'm a big boy. I think I'm ready, Daddy.
I don't think any of us are ready to care for one of these creatures. Of course, you just leave them here, and they'll probably get eaten by something else. And, cycle of life, blah blah blah.
That's fine. If you want to make omelets, that's all right.
Mary,
But maybe keep one.
can we eat wyvern eggs?
Can we eat wyvern eggs?
You sure as hell can.
Cook all the poison out
I
of it.
mean, it's eggs. Wyvern balut.
You gotta mix them in with your grits and chewing tobacco and whatever the fuck
I
else
would
you
say
do.
it depends on
Coffee
how
ground.
developed the eggs are.
It's apparently midway through the cycle. You might have to pull some beaks and shit out of there, but
No. No.
It's balut. You hold them up to a light, make sure they're all like ready in there, and then you hard boil them.
Grab one egg and we steal the cave. Breakfast.
How big are the eggs again? I think you told us, but I forgot.
Football sized.
Oh shit, we can grab more. We can grab all three.
The hell of an omelet.
it's a big omelet.
It's at
Ostrich
least
eggs,
really
Like,
good.
I don't think we carry the mess kit big enough to cook 3 eggs.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of how much can we eat. It's a matter of how much can we cook in one
We'd
setting.
have to
I
use
don't
a
think
big.
we
We'd
have
have
a
to use
mess
a.
kit big enough to cook one egg.
We'd have to use a big flat rock in the middle of July on a sunny day.
Yep.
I say we cook one egg, eat it, bury the rest in the cave.
Sure. I'll take one of my 5 sticks of dynamite.
Levi's
Mark
gonna
it
try.
down.
Levi will try to take one for himself.
Can we actually physically take it from that?
You could. They're tied together, so you don't have to do the work.
Yeah, I have to get
Oh,
this.
I'm not man enough to handle that.
No, you're
I
not.
gotta get this
Is it-
one done.
It's small enough. Is it small enough to fit in in my pack?
Yes, but if you put it in your pack, it'll probably get crushed.
Mm,
I
that's
mean,
true.
it's an egg. It's not.
Well, why don't we cook it
nuclear
and
device.
take a rest right here since we have hurt people?
That's true. Yeah, and it's actually a sheltered spot. The storm's still sort of blowing around.
We can actually make camp in this cave, take a
Yeah.
long rest in this cave, blow it on our way out.
Yeah, it is a good defensible position.
It's a little unsettling, but it's safe.
Yeah.
Can I work on bringing up the horses so that they don't freak out?
They obviously panic a little bit when you bring them into a cave full of horse bones, but
Yeah.
I'll be trying to keep one intact for myself.
okay.
If no one objects, then I'll be carrying it.
I put it on the record that's a bad idea, but good luck.
Duly noted. If I get devoured, then I can say you were right.
Okay, fair enough. If I get devoured, I'll be angry.
I gave
Oh,
you
you'll be
things with
devoured.
knots on it
Until
to
I
the
get
Eagle
devoured.
Scout. That was very smart.
Well, not like I had to tell you twice, but just make sure to sleep far away from me. One thing you may not know, Dark Blythe, is that certain creatures will imprint themselves upon you when they hatch. And I believe I am very well suited to care for such a creature.
I feel like there's a difference between
Yeah.
a hawk and a wyvern. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
It is not a duckling or Gideon, Mr. Williams.
One is a beast.
Gideon came from an
Am
animal.
I in
One
this
is a beast,
conversation?
another is a dragon.
I knew it. Levi just regards you with confidence. I'm all about trying new things.
Well, so am I, but to a point.
Yes, a point that I can cross and you cannot. It's all right.
Well, aren't we just special?
Incidentally, my dart should be far more effective now. I'm very glad we took this path. Thank you, Mary, for leading us here.
No problem.
It went great.
She's like, you fucking weirdos.
Meanwhile, homeboy is like,
Like a
the
fucking man, kid.
fuck?
Yeah.
You kids.
Homeboy's having some bad times.
These
Alright.
people are nuts. What have I gotten myself into?
You successfully find your camp. You're in this cave.
Do we get a long rest?
Actually, it's a defensible position, and you can change up who was watching, so yeah. It's uncomfortable and weird because you're surrounded by
Levi?
Levi.
Well, one thing you're noting too is that when we kill the beast, he doesn't seem to feel that pain. He seems okay with it. It's just a beast, after all.
Everybody gets a long rest. Get your hit dice back, get your hit points back, get your spells back.
So because I dropped to 0 and 7 is my real number, does it matter?
That was
Do I
a
have-
real injury. That claw hit you hard. Describe where on your body it left a significant permanent scar.
I don't know, right across like this.
Oh, man.
Across the torso.
Pretty brutal.
And Miss Temperance.
Temperance got it up the thigh. Just
Oh.
So a substantial part of your leg is now numb to
Until she
sensation.
got to thigh, I was very concerned.
Yeah, that's why Levi's.
Yeah, but now you can be like, this is where the wyvern played.
Do you remember when I was putting on this plating and you were saying that it may not be practical in these modern times?
Yeah.
I'll take a look at the creature we've just slain. There are mythical beasts in this world which you may not know about until now.
Yeah, there's some pretty normal beasts that use bullets. I'm just saying.
All I'm saying, Doc, is that I know what I'm doing here. Now listen, everyone, I realize we're from different worlds, but when you see some of the telltale sign in my eyes when I lock a gaze with a creature and it becomes compelled to approach me, it is about that time, whether it be human or beast. Wait until it engages. My intention was to draw the creature away from you all unarmored folks and bring it to a safe place that's suitable for shooting. When we're dealing with creatures that fly right up to us in this way, be it the wyvern or a bear or some other horror of the night, you let it stay on me. I'm equipped to deal with it.
Once you start fighting it, we can just shoot the hell out of it?
Absolutely.
Alright.
I'll give the signal.
I didn't realize you had some crazy hoobajoo going on with it.
Well, hoopajoob is a fine word for it, Doc. There's a bit of that going around. Some of us are
Grab one for me while I roll.
born with
shit,
certain
sorry,
talents.
I forgot you, Ben.
My bad. It's covered. Don't worry about it.
Besides, you don't think we're bringing along a boy like Gideon because he's good with a blade or a pistol, do you?
We've seen Gideon in action. You can hold some.
Exactly.
All right. We're ready to move on from the Wyvern Cave.
So righto.
Yeah.
Well, after...
Yep. Boom, and collapse the cave so that no other monster makes it a lair.
Makes a ton of fucking racket rumbling
And on
around.
Jed's map, Wyvern Cave.
And then the next thing.
Next
Yeah,
to
the
the
Coward's next to Coward's Ledge.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good shit.
So Jed's got a hobby now. I'm really fleshing him out. I like this.
It works out.
Cartographer,
Yeah.
mercenary.
Yeah.
You guys got it all.
Coin collector.
Yep.
All right. Mary,
That's me.
you know that the next stop on your tour
It's the graveyard.
is the frontier town of Barnhill. It's a tiny little frontier village. It's basically just the first thing on the way to the other tiny frontier villages of Wayne County. It even has its own theme song.
No town that small has a theme song.
Sounds sort of like this.
It's like 3 notes. Ding, ding, ding. Sorry. It's all I can afford.
Sounds like this.
Sounds welcoming.
Or dreary as fuck.
Spooky.
Graveyard music.
It's so spooky.
I'll carry the egg in one of my nets about my person.
Okay.
It's nice and cozy.
So you see the town of Barnhill over the pass. You see that it is a number of structures, wooden structures, very short, black in color, jagged roofs. Or at least you think that until you get within about 100 feet and you start to realize that they were normal-sized human buildings that have been burnt to the ground.
How far removed from our long rest are we time-wise?
3 hours.
Oh, okay. So right on top of it.
What was the name of this town again? I missed it.
Barnhill. And it's just a series of scorched, blackened buildings, reduced in height.
When was the last time I came through here?
2 or 3 months ago, at most.
When was the last time Homeboy came through here?
Oh, that's right.
He rode through here like 2 weeks ago. His route sort of figure eights through all the little frontier towns, and he comes back around.
I'm gonna bang on the side of the wagon. Mr. Milton,
Yes?
this town burnt to the ground last time you rode through?
Pokes his head out. Oh
I left the oven on.
no. You already have the duck. God damn it.
He is Lord of the Ducks. You are the god of duck.
So it's town of maybe 200-300.
Any idea what might have burnt this town down?
They're always worried about native folk. And he looks at Mary.
Alright, best keep your head inside that wagon. We don't know if this place is safe.
Will do. He slides the thing
Don't
shut.
tell me twice.
Like the guy at the end of Wizard of Oz. Just
I have a theory that the Arrow Knights have been through here. You know how they wanted to burn down Redstone. Looks like we're witnessing the results of their success in another town.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying, as far as burnings go, we have a better track record than they do. We might as well have been the ones to do this.
I kind of snort and go,
To-
people don't start thinking that we're
To be fair, we only have a couple of structures under our belt.
effectively dealt with, though, I think we can all say.
Mary, Doc, maybe you all want to ride in and do a little scouting.
For survivors, or at least corpses or something.
I will ride in and do some scouting.
I'm gonna stand guard with the women and the children.
doesn't require a lot of skill rolls to find that this place is covered in corpses.
Is it just cinders? Is there any structures left?
There's bits and pieces of wood that got wetted by the rain and didn't burn thoroughly, but for the most part, this is enough structures to support a town of 200 people.
Oh, wow.
Most of them have been burnt to the ground.
Any surviving structures?
None. Corpses everywhere.
Surviving corpses.
Shit.
Barnhill.
Yeah.
Big.
Well,
What you do see is there are
DD.
corpses that are maybe not fresh, but have died in the last 30 days.
Ew, this will smell bad in here then.
A number of them have been killed by arrow strikes, scalps removed.
okay.
Any insight on this?
Can I
Miss Tardy?
see if it matches any?
Investigation.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to ask right now. That's an 11.
The tribe that you're from is not known for this sort of blood sport. It's not your thing. Are there other native tribes that do this sort of thing? Yeah. Yeah. This is a little late in the era for that sort of thing, but certainly there's still some folks out there who particularly like to channel the older style, the more aggressive adversarial approach that really has not suited the tribes well, in your experience.
I would like to also do an investigation, but more in my idiom. I seem to discover things like flying horses and like all kinds of other weird shit. So I'm going to do an investigation check for like weirdness.
Okay.
Investigate for weird.
It's weird.
That's going to be actually more than 17. That's like 23, I think.
It's really weird.
That
22.
rolls,
22.
that roll's so good, I feel kind of bad telling you that you don't detect anything of abnormal nature.
Not weird at all.
May I make an investigation roll?
You may.
I'd like to roll things more in my idiom. Where did they come from? Where did they go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe.
I hate you so much.
You're welcome.
Then I had to use religion to see if they left any signs of religiosity.
20.
I'll come to you to say.
18.
This does not appear to be in any way religious, one way or the other.
Just a straight up raid.
Yeah. What you get is a lot of conflicting information. There are people here who have clearly been pierced by arrows, scalps removed. There's also people here who appear to be of a darker skin tone, faces painted, tattoos, feathered garments. But the people who are here who appear to be of a native persuasion look like they've been dead longer than the people who have died here in town. And indeed, you find at least one person who is pierced by arrows after they were already pierced by bullets.
Like they were dead,
And then
died
planted.
for a while,
Yeah.
and then got shot by arrows.
Or they were planted. This whole thing feels like it's staged.
You can't grow corpses in a field.
Wouldn't
Not
be
with
that-
that attitude.
Josh, please duck him.
I finally got it back. It's so long. Do you think someone's trying to deflect blame towards the tribes,
It wouldn't be the first time someone's trying to pit us against our peoples against each other.
or pit the Europeans against you.
Whatever it is, it looks like there were some native corpses planted here, and it was made to look like a raid. But if that's the case, then I doubt that it was a raid.
Can you check out any of the? Well, okay, that wouldn't matter. But yeah, never mind. If the arrows weren't what actually killed these people, it won't matter what tribe they came from. If there's a certain style of arrows or whatever.
If it's all the same to you, I would appreciate if we could clean this up a little bit in the way of other people coming through might not have the ability to see through what got set up here.
Well, how can we help you then?
We need to get rid of all the native bodies.
Are we burning another village?
This
It's already burned.
It's already burned.
Oh, that's fine.
We're just burning the bodies.
Yeah.
All right.
That's going to take the better part of the rest of the day,
It's
if
gonna
not
take
tomorrow
basically
as
the whole
well.
day, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
And it's wet, so everything's muddy, and dragging people is hard.
Perhaps we can
Tell you what, as a favor to your people, how about you call off the rest of what we owe you for this trip, and we'll help you take care of the bodies here to keep a good face for your kind.
It seems a fair deal to me.
It is.
Alright, let's get to work
Well,
then.
revenge is a dish best served cold, they say. I can wait a day or two. Have mine.
Yep.
All right, I'll put my egg in a safe place while I work.
Just don't put them all in one basket.
It is all just one egg. So
It's one egg in a net.
When he goes to bunk up for the night, he
that's
sits
a
on his
big
egg
bitch.
and then goes to sleep. Alright.
it's like I sat on a pie.
So I guess we'll work the rest of the day policing bodies, trying to clean up evidence that it was, or clean up
Bodies.
fake evidence.
I mean,
that
it's
was
not just the
illegal.
natives we have to move. If the whites were scalped, sorry for the
Right.
lingo,
I gotta.
then they need to be burned too.
I have to assume that this place is not habitable, if not just for the charredness of it, but for the risk of disease.
Also true.
So, we need to establish a base camp.
Plus, if
Like-
there's wyverns in the area, the smell of carrion might draw them.
Yeah, that's true.
Or other beasts.
So we're burning all the bodies.
This sounds like an appropriate time to call for a one-round skill challenge, just to see who can be the best
Oh.
at funeral rites.
I'm specialized in burning
I
bodies.
was actually looking for a poem that might be appropriate from what the book you gave me. So I'm just Googling around right now to see if anything's cool.
Who's got something chambered in a hat?
I mean, I have something, but it's very
what?
basic.
This is to bury the body, well, to
Burn.
cover up the bodies, basically.
We're all doing one skill.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I mean, I have a basic one.
we're just gonna light it on fire, right? I mean,
Yeah.
There's no way we can bury 200-300 bodies.
No.
That's
No,
ridiculous.
no, you're not going to bury him.
I'm just going to use athletics, just throwing bodies over my shoulder and hauling them into a big pile in the middle of town.
Alright, give me that roll.
17.
That's huge, yeah, you got a big success.
Can I use animal handling and try to hook up horses with maybe like some sort of
Yeah, you have a functional
yeah
wagon.
blanket
Yeah.
between them and like actually help drive
I'm
the
halfway
bodies?
decent at that too. Can I just assist her?
Sure.
So yeah, I guess I'm just hauling bodies to the wagon then.
16 plus 21.
It's also
Making
huge.
a meat dump truck.
Alright.
Thanks for the help.
What's
Yeah.
Levi doing?
I'm good. I'm halfway decent at keeping horses.
What
alive.
indeed?
Maybe start preparing something to say over him.
I guess I can do religion to attempt a makeshift eulogy.
Okay.
Okay, 20.
Try something non-denominational. There's a couple different faiths in this pile, I think.
Yeah. So he probably gives a surprisingly moving speech.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know you love ad-libbing these things. So if you have something chambered, or if you want to think about it for a couple seconds, I'm going to come to these two. And if
Yeah,
you
give
want
me
them,
give me a
I'll say
minute or two.
it. I'll do these two. I'll come back to you. Gideon.
What you...
As instead, temperance.
Well, I was gonna use my my performance to do funeral rites.
Okay. You're going to assist?
Yeah.
Basically? Okay. You can give me a roll. That's huge.
So that is 21.
Can I make a suggestion? I don't want to steal your spotlight.
Yeah.
If he's going to read the last rites, maybe you can sing Amazing Grace.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. I do like that as performance and not religion. There's not actually any religious belief behind it.
Yeah.
So it is like maybe heartfelt, but still a facade.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we're going for a less Christian theme, you can sing Poop This Afternoon, Yub
Poop this afternoon,
Yub Yub!
It's just a real goddamn song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I will one up you. I sing Shenandoah.
Okay.
That's pretty good. All right.
I should know that one.
I actually don't know that one.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
You're a doofus. All right, what do you got for me there, Paul?
So he opens up the little book that Doc gave him, and he finds a little something. Hopefully it's era appropriate. I did not check the age.
That's fine.
Before us great death stands, our fate held close within his quiet hands. When with proud joy we lift life's red wine to drink deep of the mystic shining cup, an ecstasy through all our being leaps, death bows his head and weeps.
Halfway through that verse, I join in with you without the book in my hand
Nice.
and say it with you.
Nice.
Because Dark Blythe has that shit memorized.
Of course it does.
Nice.
All right, and spotlight is yours, Josh, if you want it.
Dearly beloved, though through the flames your faces are now unknown to us, by whatever evils befell you, the Lord has sent us here to see you delivered in peace to the next life. I can think of no man or woman or child that deserves the fate that has befallen you, but know that you are now free from this world of evil. Know that even through this tragedy, the Lord is with us, and that in our ever blazing conflict, darkness versus light, you are at peace. You are back in the Lord's bosom. To praise him for all eternity, to know a peace that us mortals are not yet meant to know. We are but vessels, placed in the wake of his creation. We don't get to understand exactly. I wish that I had a chance to get to know each and every one of you. And all the fine things that could have happened in this town. All the ills, all the funny moments. These things can be taken away from us very quickly. I only hope that your ending was swift, and that your passage to the heavens is well deserved, and you can breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that it is all in his hands, that it is all taken care of. One way or the other, justice will be done. And let this be a hello from all of us, and a fond and luminous farewell to all of you as he looks at the blazing, growing flame. Amen.
Amen.
In nomine Patri. And I begin speaking smatterings of Celestial that I know. Thank you.
Over the course of your speakings of Celestial, you do not need to activate your power to know that you can detect the presence of no fewer than 3 Celestials within 60 feet.
He maintains a good poise and looks in their direction without moving his eyes, but smiles. And just kind of goes off on his own. Well, I have to see an egg about an egg. I'll be right back.
Anybody want to add anything to this before we move on?
I wrote something onto a piece of paper, folded it up during his speech into a origami crane, and then threw it into the blaze.
Wow. After a period of time has
It's not
passed,
like-
Gideon's going to follow Levi wherever Levi went for a moment.
Back to my egg shack. Though he is making some attempt to pray, though he doesn't look familiar with it. And he's muttering to himself something. If they're listening, he's kind of just saying softly under his breath, like, I wish I knew how to talk to you. So he doesn't hear you come in.
Yeah, Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to startle you.
It's alright. Figured you'd be watching the show. It's very,
Well, they've all done cleaned up. Mr. Williams, what are you?
You've asked me this before, Gideon.
Still don't know.
Why do you want to know? I've not asked what you are. As
I
far as I'm concerned, you're just a boy with some curious powers.
I had this dream after the lizard bit me or stabbed me. I dreamed that there were these creatures of light and creatures of dark, and they were fighting, and we were all stuck in the middle.
I remember you saying, yes.
And then this hand reached out and grabbed me and pulled me out. But I couldn't tell whether the hand was light or dark. And then I realized it was you. What are you, Mr. Williams?
Make a persuasion check. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna make you work for it.
Persuasion, you said?
Yeah. See what you got, kid.
I got a 14.
It's bad, kind.
Is that bad?
I'll tell you, but I want to know first, why are you so curious? You trusting these dreams?
I don't know if I trust them, but they happen to me from time to time. I tend to see things. I tend to, I don't know. It almost feels like I make things happen, but that would be pretty arrogant. And I just don't know if I don't know what I for some reason, I just can't see you. I can't see what you are.
Insightful is exactly what you are. Do you think that me revealing a bit about myself will help you trust me more?
I don't know.
Because if you say yes, then I will tell you. That's all I'd like to hear right now, is just a little bit of acceptance.
That's okay. Never mind. I'm sorry to have bothered you.
He laughs for maybe a little too long.
Turn around and start to walk out.
Enjoy the fire, Gideon. Enjoy it.
Creepy. Do you both have inspiration yet?
You gave me.
I do not.
You gave me one.
I burnt mine.
Ninja stop.
Sorry, I can just mark it down.
Just a quick thing with Jed. He has taken upon himself the grim duty of stirring the fire to make sure the bodies are completely consumed.
Yep.
So he's standing there with just a long pole he found somewhere, and he's literally just pushing bodies around until they're all consumed. And at one point,
I will keep watch around our perimeter while you're doing that, just kind of pacing around in a circle to make sure you don't have to worry about looking over your shoulder while you're doing that.
And at one point, like, in the pile of coals and embers, like, there is a body underneath, and it's nobody to Jed. He doesn't know who this person is, but there's just a set of eyes looking out, dead, fixed, through the pile of coals, and Jed's, like, just locked in eye contact with this body, and then, like, a single ember is just sort of floating through the air, and it's about to land on his coat, and he's not even going to make the effort to brush it away, and he notices it just goes right through one of the burn holes that was already there from the saloon fire in Redstone, and it just passes through his coat without even causing any damage. Hits the ground and just sort of burns out, and he just looks at that and breathes deep, wipes away like a single tear, and just goes back to his work, just stirring the coals.
Good going.
This seems heavy, huh?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I sent you what I wrote in the note.
In the boat
You can read it
with a
later.
goat.
You don't need to read it right now.
I probably should.
Would you? Could you?
in the root beer float.
So there is a method to my madness in case.
I figured there's a method to mine too.
Okay, good.
We'll just see whose madness wins.
That's right. I like it.
Mine, I'm the DM.
I am the craziest.
I'll get you, He-Man.
It's not that I am crazy. It's I
You're
am
mad.
Space madness.
Wow, we were. Can you tell we were raised on fucking cartoons?
Yeah.
Y'all are stupid.
great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Alright. The fire burns throughout the night. It requires tending until the morning hours. Morning arrives, and the sun is starting to break the cloud cover. The storm is finally starting to break. It's been lonely, boring, troubling work to continue to keep the fire burning throughout the night, as these scatters of thunder showers just rain on your fire.
I have my control flames cantrip, and I will just use that from time to time to help.
You've likely had to use it a lot.
I can actually make shapes of the flames.
The village is burnt thoroughly. The bodies are burnt. You feel like you've covered up this facade.
This crime.
And morning comes. Now, what you know of the frontier, specifically what Mary knows of the frontier, is that your tribe is nearby, maybe within a few hours' ride at the most. You're also then perhaps a slightly shorter distance of a number of different little tiny frontier towns. They don't have a lot of population going on. They certainly don't have anything of value for like export. That's not what they do. They're basically just here to be tiny solo operations, little tiny like prospector villages and stuff like
Ranchers and stuff like that.
that. Some
Or
ranchers
like-
are like goat ranchers.
Like there's the hole you shit in. There's the hole you sleep in.
yeah. Well, there's
Don't
no,
mix them up.
Yeah.
Somebody shit in my foxhole.
there's no cattle because there's just not enough for cattle to eat. But
Right.
goats will eat anything, so it's like goat farms.
That's the hole you go in.
That's the hole you're going shit in.
And just like off the top of your head, the number of local townships you're aware of: Rosewood, Dogs Bend,
Goat
Sweet
shithole.
Lake, Tawny Bell. They're all nearby.
Okay.
They're all generally the same size and
Couple of hundred people, no general
it's a
store.
pretty big size for a frontier town, isn't it? It's a tent shanty town.
Couple of hundred people is pretty small. Figure families of 10 or 11 because of how many children they're having.
But how many actually live?
50.
Nice.
50 children?
Yeah.
That's a huge family.
They get
Big omelet.
That mom's just popping kids out.
It's more like water slide.
There's even room for them to twirl a cane while they stroll.
That's
Hello,
how it's
baby.
like.
Wow, that got her good.
So there are two options. We can either check out other of these towns to see if similar things have occurred there, or we keep going.
Where were we going to find your quarry?
Do we have a location more specific than Wayne County? I don't think we did.
Hiding in Wayne County.
Well, maybe we should find some people that aren't killed and ask them some questions.
Well, they'll be more likely to talk.
Yeah.
If we start asking questions, he may know we're coming.
No, I agree. An aggressive investigation is probably not going to help our cause.
We have a location. Let's go straight there.
We don't have a location.
We're in our location.
In the county. The county's pretty big. You can see the map. The county's very wide.
Okay.
We can cross Barnhill off our list of possible candidates, but aside from that, we don't have a more specific location.
Well, you know him by appearance. That's a help.
I did declare I wanted to investigate for the direction from which people came and went from this town. Is that giving us any leads?
This town was the first of the frontier towns coming into Wayne County. It doesn't have a lot of traffic, but it has traffic going different directions. This is where you go before you go somewhere else.
Are there any fresh tracks?
Hard to say with the rain and everything. It's pretty squished up.
All right. If we do want to start actually investigating, you all arrive in town either before or after I get there. I'll carry the photo. I'll ask people about it as a historical fan of his. If only one person's asking, he's not liable to feel threatened.
And when will we know that you're ready for us to join you?
We'll pick a point in the town to rendezvous. I can give you a signal, perhaps.
I mean, maybe we can all just go to the saloon or something if there is one.
Well, I believe that we would undermine Levi's plan if we arrived together.
That's what yes, exactly.
So,
Well, I mean, we can stagger our arrivals.
arrive one at a time over the course of a day or two.
Mm-hmm. And reconvene, I suppose, in the morning at the tavern over breakfast, where we just happen to be, where everybody eats breakfast, of course. Assuming they have such an establishment.
Well, that works for me.
We'll pick a different signal every time. This first one can be a simple wink.
I mean, their other option is we just send you in, we stay outside of town, and you just come back and find us when you find out information.
If I wink with one eye, it means I have found something. If I wink with both eyes, it means nothing.
Ain't that a blank?
It would be extent. I'll show you. Here's a wink. Here's a blink. Extended, not the natural reflexes.
I believe I can pick up that.
Guys are idiots.
You have a better idea?
Getting you
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You were speaking to me before about insights. maybe you know something.
No,
about
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Shush. Then here we go. Here's the tiebreaker. Milton, where is your hometown?
From Hope's Landing.
Okay, but when you're staying in Wayne County, where is it you stay?
Dog's Bend.
How many days ride is that from here?
10 hours.
Well, that's a good in right there. We just say we were, whatever, we were out hunting or something. I don't know. Make up something that we were out doing. We encountered him, and he needed an escort back here, so that's why we're all coming in together.
And if we bring you there and drop you off safely where you feel like you can make a living for yourself, you'll keep the nature of our relationship more or less to yourself.
Buy a wagon and get out of here again.
All right, then I think we go to Dog's Bend.
Dog's Bend.
Dog's Bend.
Dog's Bend.
It's a comma.
You know the way, Mary?
Mary knows the way.
Let's get going.
I sure do.
All together, not staggered?
Yeah.
Until we're within an hour or so of the town, and then we stagger our arrival. You'll go in with Mr. Milton, and the rest of us will follow.
Certainly.
And we'll look for you at whatever the saloon is to receive your signal.
All right.
We bend dogs, yo.
Twist them into little
I
balloon
bend them
animal
till they're
dogs.
cats. Cats straight, dogs bend.
It's several hours' journey from the remnants of Barnhill to its Dog's Bend.
Dog's End.
Along the way, I would like a... Not from you. Put your dice down, you disgusting fuck.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Wow.
That was great.
That got real.
Levi, Gideon, and Mary, please give me an Arcana check, whether you're trained or not.
What?
7.
11.
To me,
It was meant to be.
Falls to you, kid.
The kid stays in the picture.
Yeah, it's looking at you, doofus.
nah, roll.
Oh.
Fuck you, doofus.
It's gonna be 7.
Yeah, portent. Is that a portent
His
thing?
portents were 2 and 3,
Oh, gross.
Yeah,
which are awesome, actually. They're really
Yeah.
good, but not what you want
Not right now.
Nope.
See, 11 is our high.
Alright. Then yeah, this is an easy seg then to the end of the day. You ride unaccosted to the town of Dog's Bend, which is still standing. And